Alright, so today's lesson is going to be very similar to last lesson. That is solving equations using multiplication and division. So let's say we have the equation t over 3 equals 7. In the same way that adding a number to both sides leaves the equation inequality, multiplying the same number by both sides will do just the same. So in order to isolate this t, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both sides and multiply them by 3. So if I take t over 3 times 3, my 3's cancel out, and I'm left with t. If I take 7 times 3, I get 21. We check that in our equation, we see that 21 over 3 does in fact equal 7. So my answer for t is 21. Alright, let's say I have 2 1/4 times g equals 1/2. Again, this time I'm going to divide both sides by the number that's multiplied by g, because if I divide both sides by 2 1/4, the equation still stays equal. Both sides still stay equal to one another. So now I have g is equal to 1/2 divided by 2 1/4. Let's make that 2 1/4 into an improper fraction. So we have g is equal to 1/2 divided by 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9 over 4. And remember, when I divide, it's the same as multiplying as if that second fraction is flipped. So I have 1/2 times 4 over 9. That's going to leave me with g is equal to 4 over 18. If I divide the top and bottom by 2 to simplify it, I get 2 on the top and I get 9 on the bottom. So I have the answer that g is equal to 2/9. Alright, so let's say I have 42 equals negative 6m. Again, to isolate that m, I'm going to divide both sides by the same number. And in this case, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. So 42 divided by negative 6 is negative 7. If I divide both sides by negative 6, this right side becomes 1m, or just simply m. And if you see, we see that negative 6 times negative 7 does in fact equal to 42. So that's how we can know that m is equal to negative 7. Right, so let's say we have a 33-pound object, and we know that something on the moon weighs 1/6 that it does on Earth. Let's say on the moon this object weighs 33 pounds. If we know that something weighs 33 pounds on the moon, what does it weigh on the Earth? We'll call that value W, what it weighs on the Earth. Well, we know that the weight on the moon, so we'll just say the m weight on the moon is equal to 1/6 your weight on Earth, so we'll call that W. In order to solve this problem, we know that the object on the moon weighs 33 pounds, so we'll set that equal to 1/6 the weight of Earth to figure out what it weighs on the Earth. What I can do is I can either I can think of this as dividing both sides by 1/6. But remember, when you divide both sides by 1/6, you're really flipping over the fraction. So in a sense, I'm multiplying both sides by 6. So 33 divided by 1/6 is going to be 33 times 6. And we're going to find out that the weight is equal to 198 pounds on Earth. So let's look at some more problems. Let's say I have 13s is equal to 195. In this case, to isolate the s, I'll divide both sides by 13. And I'm going to end up with 1s, because 13 divided by 13 is 1. So 1s is equal to 195 divided by 13, which is 15. Another example, if we had negative 3x equals 12, I divide both sides by negative 3, I'll get 1x is equal to negative 4. So I know that x is equal to negative 4. Alright, so let's say I have this word problem, negative 18 times a number equals negative 198. How I would write that is negative 18 times a number equals negative 198. And then I'll solve for that number by isolating it. So I divide both sides by negative 18, and I get n is equal to 11.